Week 10 of the NFL.
And coming up, we'll see the dynamic Alvin Kamara.
He'll be a focal point of his offense this week. It's the Saints and the Panthers, and it comes your way next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they come in on a one-game winning streak. What do you say we keep that one positive? Because they haven't had much to be positive about lately.
Yeah, let's take it, maybe make it almost like the theater. You're only as good as your last performance. Hopefully they can continue.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. And they will be led out by a man in his sophomore campaign as the quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Their first play from scrimmage is a pickup of 13.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
And Shaheed going to go in motion. Now Rattler. There's Chris Olave. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Play action, now Rattler. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he's taken down inside the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers are getting involved as this game goes on.
They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. 2 yards to go, second down. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. Fights loose. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. They'll give it up the middle to Miller. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's Rattler. And that one too wide and incomplete. Strong coverage by Carolina. And on we go to 4th down.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well. So your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting on a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
The numbers on the ground last week for Hubbard. 16 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown.
And those numbers have both he and his blockers motivated this week. They saw that yardage total climbing, but stopped short of 100. Every one of them has to be driven this week to help him reach the century mark.
Second down, another chance for Hubbard. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
They run again with Dowdle. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Third down and 13. Here's Young from the shotgun. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the first down. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. On fourth down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. Now this is going to work out well as it's out of bounds near the 13-yard line. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
And he powers his way up past the 30. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 21 carries, 101 yards, and a score.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves them with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. That is caught. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. The Saints looking for win number 2 on the year. And they come in really scuffling, losers of 7 of their last 8 games.
And I like where the management is taking this team now because the record, not great, we know that. But now they're looking to the future using the younger players instead of some of the veterans. They want to see how they produce in the cauldron of an NFL season.
Throwing is Rattler. There's a short one caught by Johnson. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Second and a couple. On the counter, here's Kamara. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll throw. Here's Rattler. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. On 4th down, here's Rattler. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires, and the Panthers will get the football back. The Panthers' offense, led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. And they've used him quite a bit in the passing game as you take a look at the NFL leaders in receiving yards by a running back, and he's right there in the mix. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
He'll find McMillan here. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football. 2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. As they've got it as we resume action. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard. Yeah,
but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Right back to Hubbard. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Young to throw it. That's to the sideline and incomplete. 4th down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And, Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are. But let's face it, partner, they can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
To the air is Rattler. And that'll be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Rattler wants to throw it. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they'll have it just 5 yards away from pay dirt here, first and goal. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And following the turnover, they'll look to take the lead here as they start with a first and goal. Young now after the fumble recovery. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a first and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try. Still a long ways away.
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. But it looks like one of the DBs has it.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. So here are the Saints to take over. They've got the lead right now in this ball game, and they got the victory last week against the Rams, so some good momentum as they come up first and 10. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Now that's the way you want to start a drive. Talk about a tone setter as well as a playbook opener. Now if you want to take a big shot over the top, you're all positioned to do so.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throwing out right here, caught by Olave. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Now 2nd and 3. Here's Kamara on the read option. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front. That was a 3rd and somewhat manageable now, not so manageable.
Exactly, because you had a play call on that you felt like, hey, this could go quick, and it doesn't take much to get it done. Now, you got to start thinking about a little bit of a deeper route type of a call, especially if you want to throw it.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now 1st and 10. Here comes Chuba Hubbard. Let's take a closer look at him. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit. Maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the 2nd quarter. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Straight ahead with Hubbard. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a fourth down.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Second down, and it's Kamara again. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And they'll run it from the gun with Miller. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
From the gun, here's Rattler. Throw left side complete. That's Johnson. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 28. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Rattler working out of the gun. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
They'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Kamara. Going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. They'll look to throw for it with Rattler. flush to his right. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. It's their quarterback. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And it's a pretty good return here as they'll get this up to the 29. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Here is Young. The throw out wide going to be incomplete.
Lots of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, here's a run by Hubbard.
And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away.
It's taken to the 26. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
The Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half. And with a 10-0 lead, you figure they won't try to do anything foolish here.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Over the middle, complete. It's Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
A gain of 12. 1st down, New Orleans.
From the shotgun, Rattler. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's 3rd. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Coming left is Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here comes the Saints punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Anthony Richardson, strong as usual in the victory as his guys run their record now to 7-3. From there, we head down to sunny Miami to check on the Dolphins at home at Hard Rock Stadium. And they were winners in their ball game over the visiting Buffalo Bills. Tua Tagovailoa leading the way there as the win gets his guys back to 500 on the year. we were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. Two-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives. Try and slow things down a little bit.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor.
And the return will stop right around the 25.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he's brought down, but he has it down to the 12 on a pickup of 12. 1st and 10.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Kamara try the right side. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Now back to throw.
Again, it's Johnson.
And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Now the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson.
So they'll get nothing out of that play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Now Rattler.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. They call it a loss of a yard there. And it'll be 4th down.
That's a nice clip and save sequence there defensively because they did everything as they would have wanted to. They forced the 3rd down, blanketed the field with coverage, nowhere to go with the football, forced the dump off to the back, and even then they closed quickly and got him down behind the line of scrimmage. You name it, they did it well in that last sequence.
Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense and Bryce Young headed back onto the field. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Young. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Young working out of the gun. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big third down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on for the 5th time here today. This is taken at the 23.
A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On the check down, he finds Kamara. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
But backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Here's Rattler.
And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
A good head-down running on the return gets about 15 yards. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
He's got his tight end. It's Tommy Tremble. Look at the big man rumble.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown.
Tommy Tremble.
His first touchdown on the year.
And the Panthers are back within a score.
Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today. And I was like, oh, a zinger or two? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here.
Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Throwing is Rattler.
And he will find his man on the outside. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara.
And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. 2nd and 9 from the 44.
A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for third down. They'll throw. Here's Rattler. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. On play action, Young.
He'll find McMillan here.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
At the 29-yard line.
Now Young. Dancing away at the 35.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Third down, Young from the gun. That is caught. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A good-looking drive so far for the Panthers and a first down here.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. To the air once more, Young.
He'll dump this one off to Hubbard.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Young now from the 50. Steps away to his left. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
On third down, he obviously wants to throw the football, but there's nowhere to go with it, so he takes off and goes. And now as he gets to the first down marker, he blows right past it and picks up big yardage. Partner, that's a great bit of improvisation.
There's a short throw caught by Sanders.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
From the 21, here's 2nd down and 8.
At the Saints' 21-yard line.
Young will set to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. That'll go for a gain of 7. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
They'll try and run for this with Hubbard. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on fourth down. In motion goes the tight end. Young off the play fake. Dancing to his left. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the fourth and final quarter of play. Out of the gun, here's the give to Hubbard. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down. Now here's Young. And it's caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Tommy Trimble. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Panthers are an extra point away from going back on top here in the fourth.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. Kamara up the middle. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 47 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Derek Brown, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. From the gun, here's Rattler. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
So many things have to go right for any passing play to work out. Quarterback has to understand the defense, deliver an accurate ball. Receiver has to concentrate and bring it in. Somewhere along the assembly line, something was off with that one.
They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to kick it away. Fielded at the 20. It's a 45-yard punt, then 8 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. On 1st down, they'll start out with Hubbard. And he's got some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Now a 2nd and 2. A running play, it's Dowdle. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
It's a loss of 1. Brings up 3rd and 3.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Young to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints 30. Give them 10 yards on that one, and that earns them a fresh set of downs. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Looking to throw, Young. This is caught by McMillan. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. So from the 22, here's 2nd and 2. Off the play fake, Young. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Brian Brzee fought in and got him down. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away from pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to get the lead up to 4. That is inches from the upright. It's no good. Wide to the left, and this is going to remain a 1-point game. Had a chance to give themselves there some important wiggle room, but it went awry.
Yeah, let's do the simple math here. And you know, for me, it has to be simple. Instead of this thing kind of giving them that wiggle room you talked about, now we're talking about possibly losing a ball game because they left the door open.
Rattler wants to throw it. There's a short one caught by Johnson. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left. They'll give to Kamara here on the option. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
1st down, Saints.
Again, it's Kamara, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense is pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
Gets this complete to Shaheed.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down.
To the air is Rattler. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
A shotgun handoff now to Miller. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down. Now Rattler.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Johnson. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That's good for 28 yards.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Rattler working out of the gun.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Saints have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here.
And he will get into the end zone for the 2 points, and that helps. That gives them a 7-point lead. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock.
Left side here to Sanders. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
Like the design that we're seeing right there, this is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
That one thrown across his body, and it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Throwing, Young. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Young to throw.
And he's got his man in stride, complete.
And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout.
That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Now Young.
Throwing middle, and it's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. A give up the middle, Hubbard.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
That solid gainer will put them on the doorstep of the end zone. More importantly, it gives them a fresh set of downs. Nice work right there.
Here's 1st and goal. Here's Young. He'll get this to his running back, Dowdle.
Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game.
On the handoff, it's Hubbard.
And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
Young.
And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time, because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
It's desperation time. Young on 4th down. Buying time to his left.
And he is going to be out of bounds well short of the pylon, and that will be a turnover on downs. We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line.
What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Saints, they pick up their 2nd win now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they're going the wrong way, as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.